Hi, it's Cara here, saying Mum on the Run. I'm going to be really vulnerable with you today, so I'm going to give you a trigger warning just now as well, because I'm going to be talking about mental health, which, if you need support, please reach out to your GP. Please call the Samaritans. I'll put the number in the description box. And if you're in an extreme emergency where you feel that you may harm yourself, please call the police 999 in the UK. Okay, so now we've done that. Statistic you've probably heard before is that the stress of autism parents is particularly of mothers, but this isn't exclusive to mothers, obviously, is comparable to the stress of a combat soldier. Wow. So you are constantly having really stressful challenges. So yeah, that's very frightening. It's very frightening. So I'm going to talk about my own mental health journey. So I am a very happy-go-lucky person. I take care of my mental health, so I do a lot of personal development work. I do lots of things to take care of me, so I do self-care, and I don't mean just like skincare, having baths, getting massages, although I'm not a big fan of massages now. Anyway, that's another story. I love a facial. I do all these things. I very much read, and I'm upskilling all the time. I do courses. I help friends and family find resources that they need as well to help improve their mental health. I do daily gratitude practice. So every day I write down 5 things that I want for myself. Some are, in fact, all of them are really simple and achievable. I don't do goals like I want to live in a bigger house or anything like that. It's things like I want to exercise twice a week. I want to be a healthy weight. I want to live in an organised, decluttered house. I want to work in a job that I love, that pays well and that helps others. And my 5th one is we do lots of fun family activities together. So those are my 5. Those are my 5 straight out. Then I do 10 gratitudes for the day. Now, I tend to do them either throughout the day or at the end of the day. And I am someone that genuinely gets, the breeze through my hair, the birds chirping, things like that, the sun shining on my face, that cup of tea that just hit the spot, all these different things. So I am by nature quite a grateful person. I'm quite a spiritual person as well. I wouldn't say religious necessarily, but I am quite a spiritual person. So I find the goodness in the God and everything. However, that said, parenting 2 very complex needs kids is exhausting. I'm not going to bother doing my makeup, I'll just talk to you. Is exhausting. So my journey with medicated mental health started in November of 2023. At that stage, I was having what I now know are like anxiety attacks. So I would just blow up, like I would take so much, and I'm quite, again, fairly soft by nature. And I would blow up, I would scream, I would get so angry, I would get it out of my system, and then I would kind of go back to almost like a plateau again. I was getting really worried about myself because that's not me. I'm not a screamer. I'm quite kind-natured by person. I'm very empathetic. So that was very different for me. Sorry, this is quite difficult to talk about it. I wasn't expecting it to be so difficult, but then you also think, oh, in time I'm going to be looking for other work, things like that. So this is out there for everybody to see now. But do you know what? I think it's really important for this journey. I think it's important for people to know that they're not alone. So I'm going to battle on. So yeah, so my medicated journey started in November 2023. So I had all these things going on. Everything else in my life was great, doing a job that I love. I still love my job. doing a job that I love. My marriage is good. You know, me and my husband, we don't fight, we don't argue, we get peeved with each other occasionally, of course we do. Little passive aggressive, you know, F off, and then it's done. You know, we never go to bed in an argument. That was something my auntie taught me, you know, never go to bed in an argument. We pick things up again. You know, we've got quite a really healthy marriage, I would say. Love each other, love spending time with each other. Our favourite things to do is actually going on dates together. So yeah, so marriage was good. Home life, as regards finances and things like that, tickety boo. The only real, and friendships, brilliant as well, had my friendships. So the only real thing that was causing me stress was parenting my neurodiverse children. That was the only thing. And I got to the point where I was crying a lot. And I'm not, like, I do cry, of course I do from time to time, but I'm not someone that gets wrapped up in negative emotions. Like I said, I work very hard on my mental health, and I have for years, because I think along with our physical health, it's something that you actively have to take care of. But I was really down. So I called my doctor one day. They said, well, it's not just something that's happened the last 2 days, so it's not an emergency. And I said, well, to me, it is an emergency. I was sobbing down the phone. I said, you know, I'm at a wit's end. I don't know what's wrong with me. So anyway, they made me an appointment. Say it was like 10 days later or something, but at least I had then something to aim for. I knew that there was going to be a discussion. And when I went to my GP, I broke down. I explained everything. And it was all to do with parenting neurodiverse children. It's a constant battle. Constantly walking in eggshells, especially the pathological demand avoidance profile. It was, you know, being constant calls from the school, constantly having to be in alert, trying to balance doing your job, having a successful marriage, your friends, and then on top of this, children that need you a lot more than kids comparable to their own age. For the kids to be fighting all the time, I mean, that was the biggest thing, I think, for me. It was so triggering because your nervous system with people shouting around you all the time, and fighting all the time, and having to get in the middle and separate it. It was hard. It was so hard, and it still is hard. So the doctor prescribed me the lowest dose is citralopram 10. And I went with that for a few months. She also prescribed me propranolol so that when those emotions were building and I felt so overwhelmed, I could take those as well. So for the first few months, I took both. So I took my citralopram and I took my propranolol. And it helped, it eased it, but it wasn't as helpful as I thought it was going to be. I had a review and then I went on to the 20 of the citralopram. And that's what I've been on since. So for over a year now, I have been on the citralopram 20s. I've got the propranolol when I need it. Now, I don't really use it very often now. I think the citralopram's given me a little chemical balance where I feel on the whole that I do okay day to day, but I really did need that. I mean, there's a day when I've forgotten it, like when I've forgotten to take it, which isn't very often. I think, you know, I could count on way less than one hand how often I've forgotten, but actually I feel that elevated anxiety whenever I forget to take it. It's something that really helps. What I also do along with that is, like I said, a lot of personal development. So I am constantly upskilling myself and finding things that help me. I do a joy list. I'm going to do a longer video on this because I would like to talk about personal development techniques that help me. But a joy list, so every time I find something that, you know, brings me a bit of happiness, whether that's going out on date nights with my husband, whether that's hugs from my son, whether that's my daughter wanting to spend time with me and tell me all about our latest, you know, characters on our Dandy's World game, or anything like that. I love going for Clarence facials. I love just sitting by the sea, listening to the ocean. I love watching the moon, like looking at the moon, like all these little things I will put on my joy list, and just keep adding to it. So if there is a time when I do feel down, I look at my joy list and see if there's something that I can quickly do that's going to elevate my mood. So yeah, so That's to say that SEND parents really do struggle. So many people struggle with their mental health. We're not, you know, special in that way, but what we do have is a constant battle that's not of our own making. So other people can disassociate or, you know, bring themselves away from the stressful situation. Even if that's getting a babysitter and going out. For SEND parents, it's not that easy. Not to say that it's easy for anyone with a mental health struggle. I really want to make that clear. And again, I want to say, you know, if you need help, call Samaritans, call the police if it's an emergency, get onto your GP. But yeah, so that was just a little, I'll probably do a longer video. This is already at like 11 minutes. I'll probably do a longer video in this format once I start my YouTube, really in earnest doing my YouTube channel. But I just wanted to say, you know, you're not alone, and get help. Please get help. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.